How to derive grades. Whenever we want to derive a mark sheet for our organization or our school, or we want to make any result sheet, then finally a very important part comes up to us. That is to specify the grades, which means we have to derive who has got A plus and who has got A in grade. Now these grades are derived differently in different institutions. Some institutions derive from the total number received, and some institutions derive it when any subjects goes over a particular number. So we are going to learn about all these things in MS Excel using if and if and. So in today's class we will learn about these two things, that if it can be done in both ways, how do we work our way by deriving both of these ways? So let's go and start today's if and class. At first we were discussing about how we are going to write the grade formula. Previously I have said in the MS Excel course that formula is a specific matter, but there are no specific situations to use a formula. Now first of all, let's give you an example. Let's see this page. So if you look at this document carefully, that when we will be preparing a result sheet, let us know what we need to do. We need to give the numbers according to the subjects, and in the first row we can give the names of the students. So this is the place where we have to give number. So what do we want in the total? We want to sum up all these numbers in this total. Now if this is not a result sheet, then also we want the same thing. The main objective and function is what? We want to sum up all these cells together here. So let's sum it up now. So this is the way we work with functions now. Now if we see a class based on one subject only, but we also have to keep in mind that this formula is not just for this sheet. Any work in this format, we can work with this formula and get our work done easily. So over here, firstly, we know how to do the sum. It's very simple. We can give auto sum from above and then we press enter. Then we can see our total has come up here. And then we have to drag it down below. So this basic MS Excel's full course is on our YouTube channel. Or you can go to shikhon.com and watch all our videos in serial manner. So firstly, we got all the totals here. So all the totals are in the column E. And now we will do the grade and grade 2, the second grade as well. The first grade that we will be learning will be on the total, which means here it has come 314. We have 4 subjects here, so the main total will be 400. So now if we set it as if it goes above 300, it will be one grade, and if it goes below 300, it will be another grade, and it will be another grade if it is 250. So we will change the numbers. First we write function here. So what is the first work that is in front of us? It is that we need such a function which will give me a grade if it is above 300, below 300 or below 250. We have discussed about this in our previous if class. You can check more if and else's classes. The condition that we have in our if functions will be when a formatting needs a definition. Then we need to understand that we need to use if format here. So we need a definition here. Hence we are going to use the if function here. So first, for getting the total, we'll give equal and if. Now we already know the use of if here. Open a bracket. So 3 options come down below. If you have seen the previous classes on if and else, then you already know these in detail. If you don't know them, the links are in the description, or you can check out our channel for details of the if videos. So watch them first, then come to this class if you want. Now firstly, we have logical test, which means the reasons that I want to give, what are those? So here I want this E4. What do you want to do with E4? If E4 will be greater than equal to, we already know what is greater than equal to. Greater than means above, and the less than sign denotes downwards. So greater than equal to, let's say 300. We gave equal here because if we did not give equal, the 300 would not have been counted. If we gave just greater than, then it would have counted for more than 300. And we gave greater than and equal to, so it will count from 300 and above that. Okay. Now we give a comma. As we gave a comma, the next value is highlighted. So first I gave the logical test. Now we can see it is written down here, value if true. Now if something happens in E4, then what? Double inverted A plus. So this is our first condition here. So now if I want just one reasoning and close this, then I'll give a comma here, then if false. Every if has two parts. If it happens, then this will happen. If it does not happen, then the other thing will happen. So if it happens, then comma a plus. If it does not happen, then comma, for example, f. Then we will close this off. Enter. Now we can see that as this is more than 300, it is a plus. Now if I change one number and make it 50, we can see automatically it has become f. Now these have been discussed in a more detailed way in our classes. You can check them out if you want. In our previous classes, we already learned till this. So now what we want to do, the two other conditions that we want, what we have to do for these two. So the value of false that we have written here. Firstly, we gave here if, which is a plus, comma. Now we need more values, just not one. So in the false, we will give another value. So if it is below 300 and more than 250, for that we need to open another if here. Same as before. Let me set up the logic here now. So let's copy E4 similarly. Paste it here, then comma, double inverted commas. Here we will be putting A and here we will be putting it as 250. So the second condition is if it is more than 250. Okay, now we'll be giving another comma. So this will be our third if here. So let's do our third if and let us give here more than 200. A minus. So what's my function now? If it is more than 300, we have to remember the if sections here, that after true then comma, then we'll open an if. Again true, comma, then if. So as we open 3 ifs here, we have to close 3 ifs. So let's close here, another close. We close 3 ifs, now we press enter. We should always remember the closing of the values. Closing becomes a problem at the end. The simple count is that as many ifs are there in the functions, that many brackets should be there. Now let us drag this. Now we can see that this was more than 250 here and the grade is A here. The one more than 300. Now let's make one below 250. For example, let's give here 40 and 35. Then we can see that it has become A minus. So this is how easily we can do if. Now let's go to the second part. Now the second will not be based on total number. This is also very important. Let's say if you get more than 80 in every subject, then your result will be A+. This is basically what happens in colleges and universities here, or any other places whatsoever. We are here to learn the functions only. So for this purpose, what we have to do, we need to use more functions. So you have to learn the function first. What do we need in the page? So we need to carefully examine our documents at the first. We need more than one function. We need 80 in A, 80 in B, 80 in C, 80 in D, and then we see the total. So what do we want here? We want if every subject has more than 80. Previously we didn't have all the subjects, we just had the total. That is why we did the function with only E4. But now what do we want? We want all these 4 cells. So what do we have to do? When we have multiple conditions, then we will be using if and function. So let's give here if equal if, let's give a bracket, then we'll be giving here and. So and means over here we can give multiple conditions, not just one, because we need to set multiple conditions here. So after and, let's open again. Now we can see we have two options below, logic 1 and logic 2, which means there are two conditions which is more than one condition. So let's first give here B4. So let's give B4 like we did before, greater than equal to 80. Then give a comma. Previously it was true or false, but now it comes logical 2. So this was the first condition. Now our second condition is also same, so we will copy this and paste it here, but we will change it to C4. So we need B480 as well as C4. So this function does not just have to be in a result sheet, it can be used for anything. Let's say you are doing a sales sheet that has two conditions in it. So for example, let's say you have to be present for 30 days straight and you have to do a sale of 1 lakhs. So in that case also we have to give the AND function here. Let's say for getting a bonus of 4,000, what you have to do? You have to work for 1 month at least and have to have 1 lakh sales. If you just do 1 lakh sales, it won't happen. And just working for 30 days also won't be sufficient. So for learning these, we will see multiple sheets in the future. And we will learn step-by-step method of making mark sheet and result sheet in a later video, so it will be more clear then. In this video, I'm teaching you the logic, so how to write the function now. So 2 are done here. In a similar way, we will paste the third option again and connect, let's say, D4. So here it is not possible to see the full function, so let's go to the formula bar. Okay, so we have connected 3 subjects already, but we had 4 cells, so we missed the first cell. So let's write the first cell here as A4. Next one is B4, then C4, then it'll be D4. So now we have just given the conditions. We have yet not given the true false here. We have given 4 conditions that if these 4 conditions happen, then what will I do? I will close this. So what did I close? These multiple ANDs that we did here, that I closed. Then we can see the logical test is connected here. If we give a comma, we can see the true. So the true of this if, we just need to understand the brackets here and it won't be complex. As because I have used AND here, we have gave 4 conditions and closed this AND. If 4 of these cells are more than 80, then it comes back to if, then comma, double inverted, A plus. Okay, now if I want to give false here, I will give a comma, double inverted, let's give an F here. Now we will just close once here because this AND is already closed before this. Let's give an enter. Now if we calculate, we can see here F because all the cells are not at 80. So let's change it to 95. Let's change this to 85. After that, let's change this to 75. Still there is no A here. Sorry, let's change this to 82 now. Still it is F here. But as I change this to 82, then we can see A plus here. This is because all the 4 conditions are met now. Now if I have 6 subjects instead of 4, we will give 6 cells here. Similarly, if there are 7 subjects, I'll give 7, and if there are 8 subjects, I'll give 8. Now the next important part will be, after A plus, we need to give the other grades as well, like A, A minus. So what will we do? We will do similarly as we did before. So if this happens, then it will be A plus. After that, we'll give a comma. After giving comma, previously how I have started if, so we'll give if. I will start again, and again I'll give here A and D. So we give and. Let's open a bracket. Now let's copy this full part here. Let's paste it over here. And now let's close it again. Now what will happen? Now I'll be going for the example of 70. I will change all these numbers to 70 now. All have been changed to 70. Now the AND is closed, so we give a comma. Again we give double inverted, and let's do this A. So now what will appear here? So we have set 70 as well as 80 in this function now. Now let's close the if again. So we have 2 ifs open here. And how many closes here? 2. Now let's press enter. And now if we drag this, over here it is false because the final function is not given. What will happen if it is below 70? Now we can see all these are more than 80. So let's make 172. So now it has come as A, which means if you get more than 80 in all subjects but 1, you will get the downgrade and the function will change it automatically. So similarly, like we did here, again we'll give a comma after true, and after that we'll again copy the same function here till here. After copying, we'll paste it here after 1 comma. We'll close this once more because one more if is opened here. And now let's make this above 60. And let's say this will be A minus. Enter. We can see it is done. Now let's drag it here. And let's drag it upwards as well. And now if I do it 60, we can see A minus is coming. Okay, so like this, we will do the settings first. Finally, we can see that it is false here because it has not received the perfect value. What will we do then? We have not seen that yet. This is because I have not set the false value yet. What will happen if it becomes false? We have not given that on the formula yet. Previously, we gave if it was more than 200, this will happen. But if it is false, like if it does not happen, what will it be? That we have not set yet. So for that, we can set another if here, or we can just say the false value. Now for else, what we have to do, we have to calculate here. We have to know what we want here. So last condition was if it was more than 200, it will be a minus. So finally, we will write if it is not that, then the else will be f. So we have given true as more than 200. After that, we give a comma and we'll give a double inverted after the last digit that we have here. So we will give inside this a f symbol. Let's press enter. And now if I drag this like this and make the last one 20. And now after it has become 167, f has come automatically, which means if it is below 200, any number will become f. So similarly, if we set the else or the false value here and set it as f, we will get f here instead of false. So the main fact here is that we learned two ways of grading. And more important than that is that we learned how to use if and. We learned how to use multiple conditions in one format. So we'll practice more and more. In the future videos, we'll get a proper mark sheet tutorial. We'll discuss in details over there. So you guys practice more and more. And if you have any problems or are stuck somewhere, you can check our forum.shikhon.com. You can comment on the forum. Over there, we will discuss your problems over formulas and we'll try to provide a solution to your problems there. And if you know the answer of any question there, then do make our community stronger by answering them there. Thank you for being with Shikhon.com's today's class.